not respond to these texts, and you should contact Consumer Protection at 800-300-1986. That's 800-300-1986 for the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division.
Ready to be part of something big? Meet the Rapid City Sports Commission, the powerhouse behind sports in Rapid City. The commission focuses on bringing regional and national tournaments, supporting homegrown events, and creating opportunities for our kids. But it's not just games, it's a win-win for all of us. Youth sports fuel our economy. Hosting events in Rapid City means out-of-town families shop, dine, and stay with us, which boosts sales tax revenues too. To get in on the action, visit rcsportscommission.com, where we're all about the hustle.
Winter is almost here. It's time to say goodbye to drafty doors, poor quality windows, sky-high heating bills, and outdated design. And hello to Acclaim replacement windows and stunning ensemble entry doors from Renewal by Andersen. Now's the time to invest in your home and your family's comfort. And what better time than our Black Friday event, where you keep your cash and spend ours. Get 20% off windows and doors plus a Visa gift card for up to $2,000 as our gift to you. You won't pay a dime till 2027 with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 18 months. Call now. This incredible offer is good through December 13th. Don't wait. Visit RBARapidCity.com today to book your free estimate. You don't want to miss out on windows and doors that are durable, energy efficient, and custom made for the perfect fit from Renewal by Andersen. Our Black Friday sale is here. Book today because every home should be warm and cozy.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
You need to know.
Milwaukee Bucks forward Giannis Antetokounmpo's agent has reportedly told the Bucks front office that they should talk, as the topic of conversation would be Giannis's future in Milwaukee. That's according to ESPN. The report says the decision on Giannis's future with the Bucks could be made in the next couple of weeks. Clippers let go of veteran point guard Chris Paul after he clashed with head coach Ty Lue and others in the organization. Lakers guard Luka Doncic out tomorrow in Toronto for personal reasons. Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels limited in practice today. They've got the Vikings coming up on Sunday. Vikings quarterback J.J. McCarthy was a full participant in practice. He's on track to start in Week 14. Lions wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown questionable to play tomorrow against the Cowboys. Buccaneers wide receiver Mike Evans practiced today as the team opened up his 21-day practice window. South Florida hired Ohio State offensive coordinator Brian Hartline as their new head coach.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in. I'm back and ready. Glad you're here. I know we're ready to go. Wednesday edition of the program, the Nate Brown Show. Better late than never. No, I'm ready. Are you? No, here we go. South Dakota Sports Talk Show is ready on Fox Sports Radio across the state. We are live on Fox Sports Rapid City. Our affiliates KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls. The Nate Brown Show, where it's always a great day in South Dakota. Hope you're staying warm. It is winter time. We finally have gotten smacked by a little bit of winter. I hope you're doing okay. We got a great guest lineup tonight. Thanks for making us part of your day and making this show possible. If you want to stream us, you can do that. If you can't listen to the radio the whole time, I love the radio side, Fox Sports Radio, great affiliates, but you can go to Twitter and follow us and watch us live at Nate Brown Show. So a reminder, go to Twitter and follow us at Nate Brown Show. Watch us live there. Midwest Sports Plus, that's the new high school sports streaming app. You can watch us on Midwest Sports Plus and also on YouTube. Our own YouTube channel is live. Our subscriber numbers have skyrocketed. Follow us and watch us live on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. We'd appreciate it. The Nate Brown Show. Search on YouTube, The Nate Brown Show, and you've got us. Wednesday edition of the program. What do we got tonight? Some high school, some college, some pros. That's what we try and do. Thought-provoking sports talk for South Dakota. So let's get to it. Jeff Kolpak's going to join us from Fargo, North Dakota. Some news out when it comes to Chris Kleiman, former NDSU head coach, now at Kansas State. He is just stepping down. He's just retiring from coaching, if you missed that today. So the great success story, Chris Kleiman, a lot of titles at NDSU. And then he goes to K-State. Really a nice record. Did a solid job. Now, I know this year people said, they didn't live up to the expectations. They were a top 25 team and kind of went downhill. Chris Kleiman has retired today. It wasn't like he's just taking a break, at least for now. He said he's retiring. 58 years old, so it's not like he's really old. I mean, 58. You guys are young. Jeff Kolpak's covered the Bison for Inforum.com, and Coach Kleiman, he's coming up. We'll talk FCS playoffs as well with Jeff Kolpak from Fargo. Brian Noah's on tonight. You bet we have to get Brian Noah every week as the national host of Countdown to Kickoff on Fox Sports Radio. Brian Noah's in tonight on the Nate Brown Show live from Las Vegas. And Doug Ottewill on tonight from Denver. People keep telling me my Broncos are a reminder of the Minnesota Vikings last year. They win these close games. They're going to have a great record, and they're not going to go as far as I think. Doug Ottewill's in tonight, covers the Broncos, longtime Denver sports writer for Mile High Sports. He is on tap. Wednesday show looks good. If you want in, we can get you on. I'd appreciate you joining the conversation. As always, 605-720-1067. 605-720-1067. That's our Pizza Ranch studio hotline, powered by the Pizza Ranch. Locations in Brandon, East 10th Street, Sioux Falls, and 2 locations in Rapid City. Your locally owned and operated Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet. Hit us on the Pizza Ranch studio hotline. Also, the Barron's Wilson text line. Direct text the show, 605-720-1067. So you're set. Text or call. You can be a part of the show. South Dakota Sports Talk Show off and running. So a couple of things I want to hit here. We got to, what's our job here on South Dakota Sports Talk Show? Try and provide a little bit of fun, a little bit of insight, some great guests. We'll go local, regional, national. We try and put everything together. Maybe you like the high school stuff. Maybe you like the NFL, the Vikings, whatever. We try and put it all together and try and give you some thought-provoking sports talk. Maybe you try and learn something or maybe have a little laugh. We try and do that all. But our job is to also take a look at South Dakota high school sports, what's happening on the landscape with our kids, and something we like following is high school sports in South Dakota. So I got to go to another meeting that happened today in the South Dakota High School Activities Association umbrella, the volleyball advisory meeting. So this has been an interesting week. We start December with the football meeting Monday, the volleyball meeting Wednesday. Now, before you guys say, I'm out of volleyball. I don't play. I don't know volleyball. I don't have any kids playing volleyball. Now, here's the thing. Volleyball is a fast-growing sport, so I'm going to give credit on that. I'm also not a volleyball guy. I know volleyball. My sister played volleyball. I followed it. I know volleyball. It's not one of my number one sports. However, this is a fast-growing sport, and I've talked to some coaches in South Dakota saying this is the fastest-growing girls' sport. So girls are coming out for volleyball in droves, and girls are playing volleyball year-round now. So they'll play high school volleyball, which that's just wrapped up. Now they go club volleyball from young to old, and so the volleyball scene for girls in South Dakota is big. Okay, so I just want to lay that out there. Even if you're not a volleyball expert, maybe you don't follow it super close like me. I'm there. But I find this interesting that the volleyball meeting, the biggest headline out of the volleyball meeting today in South Dakota was they're trying to pull a fast one. I think they're going to try to send something to the athletic directors to change the entire format for South Dakota high school volleyball qualifying for the state tournament. And it's not just going to be uniform across the board. It's not going to be consistent across the board. I joke a little bit, tongue-in-cheek, pulling a fast one on a Wednesday, a sleepy Wednesday afternoon. Volleyball's trying to do their own thing in Class B. A lot of the small schools, yes, hang on, they want to change the entire format for qualifying for the state volleyball tournament only in Class B. What do I mean by this? If you've followed high school basketball and volleyball, you've understood that we've had a SODAC 16 implemented years ago. This took away the sole regional representation. You still get a little bit of it because you play some of your regions, but then you break out the top teams in each region and you seed them out. So essentially in basketball and volleyball, we may not have a regional rep at a state tournament. This is because the SODAC 16 was implemented, and I think if I took a poll today on the Nate Brown Show, do you like the SODAC 16 where you quote-unquote get the best 8 teams no matter where they're from the state? Do you like that? I think most of you would say, I think the SODAC 16 is a success. I think most of you would say that. Instead of going back to districts in AA basketball and doing regions in Class A and Class B, we do the SODAC 16 where we start with some regions in A and B. Then we whittle it down to the top 2. You play your region, top 2. SODAC 16, seed it out, see who's the best 8 teams left. And I think a lot of you are with that. What is volleyball trying to do today? The volleyball advisory meeting passed a proposal that said, we don't just want to take the top 2 in each region and do a SODAC 16. We want to take the top 4 and go all the way 1 through 32 to see who's the best, and then we'll do the 16 out of those. And you're going, what's the difference? Everybody listening, what is the difference? The difference is if you're in a really tough region, East River, the difference is then if you're in the top 4 of your region, you still get a shot at state qualifying, which you would call the SODAC 32 and whittle it on down. So meaning there's some tough regions, right? In Class B, for example, maybe there's a couple of top teams in one region. Maybe there's 3 good teams in a region. Well, only 2 can make it out in the SODAC 16. And I've been arguing on this saying, hey, if you're not quite good enough to win and be the top 2 in your region, you're probably not going to be a state tournament contender. But people have argued about this, and they've said, no. There's some bad teams, West River, for example, that get into the Class B volleyball tournament, and they say, we got to make sure that we whittle this down and go 32 teams now instead of just 16. And I see it as this. We just are trying to find even more ways to get teams. We can't do our region. It's too tough. It's just too many good programs. We still want a shot. And I'm still going to hold to. I've got a couple of problems with this today in volleyball. Couple of problems. For one, this is now a different qualifying format if you pass this only for Class B. And so you're going to be doing the SODAC 16 in Class A, but you're going to be doing the SODAC 32 in Class B. Well, guess what's going to happen next? Guess what's going to happen next year? There's going to be some Class A teams that say, wait a minute, I'm in a tough region. Why doesn't Class A do the SODAC 32 in volleyball? And then what's going to happen? Wait, basketball, there's some tough ones. Sioux Falls Christian, some of these regions, man, we got to do a SODAC 32 in basketball as well. And then you just keep on whittling away, and it's a slippery slope, and you keep on going. So I'm telling you, more and more people are going to say, hey, we're in a tough region. My school can't make it out of this region. Let's give us a chance. There's my one big problem. It's not consistent. Class B volleyball today, they're just saying, yeah, let's take this to the ADs. I want the same qualifying format for Class B and Class A. I don't know why you'd want to make it different in South Dakota. By the way, this would be like having the football, for example, we seed out the football teams, right, for the playoffs? We seed them out. Well, this would be like one class seeding them out and then one class still playing regions. Hey, let's have 9AA seed them out, but let's have 9A just play their regions. That's the inconsistency. That's what it would be like. Class B is going to do the SODAC 32 because, this one tough region and maybe some teams didn't make it. So let's do that. Class A, let's do something else. And the AA, well, they got all the big schools and half the teams make it. So they're fine anyway. That's what this is. So there's no consistency. Class A's doing one thing. Class B's doing something else. I can't have that. The other thing I'm going to tell you on this, I don't like how this PowerPoint system will falsely put team seeding out there because guess what? There's better teams. I see across the board, there's more and better teams, whether it's volleyball or basketball. East River, there's more teams and more competitive games. So guess what? When you play better teams in the regular season, you get better PowerPoints. So how's a team like Phillip in Western South Dakota? They've had a good program. They aren't going to play very many tough teams. They can look at their schedule and say, hey, we're just going to play who we're playing. And then here's a team out West River, just an example, Phillip, saying, well, our PowerPoints are not going to be near some of the East River teams because we don't have the teams that are strong that we play. You get PowerPoints by the teams that you play and their records. So East River is just packed with good teams, good programs. They play each other, PowerPoints galore. West River, you're just on your own, and then you're going to be thrown into a SODAC 32 seeding system, and you're going to be down in the 20s. Is that really equitable for all teams in the state? They say, hey, everybody needs a fair shot here. Well, if you're a West River team, more than likely, you're going to play your regular season. You might dominate it. Well, if you play some average to bad teams, your PowerPoints are going to be dog biscuits. And so you're going to be in the SODAC 32. You're not going to be a top 10 team. You're going to be in the 20s, even if maybe you lost 2 games all year. So there's some problems with it. I don't think people we just got to make sure we get all the best teams in. There's some really tough regions. We got to make sure we get all the best teams in. And so Class B passed it today. The advisory meeting passed it today to go to a SODAC 32. And one of my big issues for sure, here's Class A doing something else. Here's Class B now doing something else. And I really believe you can treat Class A and be the same. You can treat Class A in basketball does the SODAC 16. Class B does the SODAC 16. And just wait. I'll see if I'm right or wrong. We'll see. This will go to the ADs. This is just going to start up the SODAC 32 conversation. Let's get 32 teams now in basketball. Let's do B basketball. Let's do A basketball. Let's do it all. SODAC 32 and the PowerPoint system that we think is just the magic bullet. It's the magic. This is the number one thing to follow. East River benefits from better PowerPoints because there's better competition. West River's on an island. You have a good team. If you don't play great teams, your PowerPoints are going to be misleading. And you're at a disadvantage because now you're going to have to play a top team. So I think we just think of so many things. How can we do this? How can we do that? I think the SODAC 16 still whittles it down to top 16 teams. 2 out of each region. You get in the top 2 in your region, you're pretty good. You're going to go to the SODAC 16. I think that works to get us down to 8 for the state volleyball tournament. All right, let's see what you say. Do you think it should be consistent? That's my question of the day on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Even if you're not a volleyball expert, and I'm not, but I learned some stuff here. I'm like, this is interesting how this is going to play out. Do you think it should be consistent? Meaning the SODAC 32 should not be a Class B thing, but if you're actually going to do something, and I'm not a SODAC 32 guy, but you got to have Class A and Class B have the same format. Do you want 9AA to do playoffs in football by seeding it out, and then you want 9A to go regions? And then what should 9B do? A combo of the other? That's how you would do this. B's different from A in volleyball. I don't like it. Thanks for getting in. I lost him. All right. We'll try and get back to you, all right? Let's see. Question of the day. In volleyball or basketball, do you think there should be different postseason qualifying formats? That's my question of the day tonight. Do you think there should be different postseason qualifying formats? Because Class B volleyball would change today. If this proposal passes by the ADs, Class B would now be different than Class A. So, sleepy Wednesday afternoon. My friend Matt Kearney's got an eye on it. He's got an eye on it. And then he says, hey, wait. This is the big headline out of volleyball today. Let's see. 76% of the people responding saying A and B, Class A and B should be the same. 76% say Class A and B state qualifying should be the same. 24% of you say a different format is fine. Listener text, the next thing we will have is 7 classes in volleyball. Oh, boy, that's a good one. That is a good one. So that's my two problems with it. I don't like going rogue and doing your own thing in Class B. I mean, you don't need to do your own thing in Class B. In Class A, something else. Class AA, yeah, okay. And then the PowerPoints example. There's programs that may not have a tough schedule. They're going to have not the best PowerPoints. They might have a good program. They don't have a good regular season schedule. They don't want to travel all over the state. They're going to be seeded much worse than a lot of the East River teams that maybe don't have as good a record, but they had better opponents. So you tell me what's equitable there. PowerPoints is not the magic answer. It's not. All right. Big news here. We'll stay on this. We'll get back to it. Big news from NDSU. So they're in the playoffs, so we get that. But Chris Kleiman, former Bison coach, now at Kansas State, just retires today. I have my thoughts on this. I'm going to ask a guy who covers NDSU football in this program for a long time, Jeff Kolpak. What does he think of Chris Kleiman just retiring at Kansas State? Inforum.com, North Dakota State football beat writer coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Keep your cash and spend ours. Our Black Friday sale is back. Get 20% off our claim replacement windows and ensemble entry doors with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 18 months. You pay nothing until 2027. Plus, enjoy a Visa gift card for up to $2,000 as our gift to you. Hurry! This Black Friday event is only here till December 13th. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Hobbies, you'll be greeted by real tellers and friendly staff, ready to help with your questions, big or small. And yes, we've got the latest technology too, for when you want quick and convenient service. The best part? You get to choose. Highmark Credit Union. Personal service backed by modern technology. We'll make it happen. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
All right, welcome back in. We're just getting going tonight. Thanks for making us part of your day. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio across South Dakota. We call it South Dakota Sports Talk Show. You make it possible. We appreciate you being here. Thanks a lot. The Nate Brown Show Live. Stream us on Twitter at Nate Brown Show. We're streaming live there. If you're on there, you can watch us live. Midwest Sports Plus as well. Great high school sports app streaming live games. If you don't have Midwest Sports Plus, check it out. Get it, and you've got this show every afternoon. Coming up, Doug Ottawa live from Denver. How good are my Denver Broncos, huh? Senior writer from Mile High Sports, Doug Ottawa, is in. Brian Nose coming up from Las Vegas, national radio host of Countdown to Kickoff on Fox Sports Radio. It's a Wednesday with Brian Noe coming up. Let's go to North Dakota. Jeff Kolpak does a great job, covers NDSU, Inforum.com. And he's here on the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. Jeff, welcome in. How are you?
Hey, Nate, thanks for having me.
I appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming on. There's a lot of things popping, FCS playoffs, NDSU, that whole thing. I want to get your read first on this Chris Klieman news. So he's had success at K-State. This year was a little tumultuous. He just retires today, 58 years old. What did you think when you heard it?
Not surprised, to be honest with you. And the reason I say that, I've stayed in touch with Chris over the years since he left NDSU. God, when was it? 2018 when he left. And, has been K-State obviously since. So if you remember the press conference after the post-game after the Utah game, did you see that?
Yes.
Where he got pretty emotional.
Yep.
And I saw the tape of that, and I just thought, man, he looks tired. He looks tired. He looks like it's been a grind, and that's when the first thought kind of first surfaced. I go, I don't know if he's going to, be in this for the long haul. I didn't predict it'd be, 2-3 weeks later, but I wasn't sure about the long haul. But talking to him over the years, and I think the biggest thing that he has an issue with, he doesn't coach anymore. I mean, these head coaches at that level, you're not really coaching anymore. I mean, he used to I know at NDSU, he's a defensive guy. Every once in a while, he'd pop in drills and help coach and do these things and help game plan. Well, now you're running a roster. I mean, I've heard a story where, like some running back would go into his office and say, hey, I need $300,000 by tomorrow or I'm out of here. I mean, seriously. And that's what I just got done watching the press conference today. And Gene Taylor, the AD, that's what he was alluding to when he got on his soapbox and said, everything's broken here. The whole system is broken. We got to fix it, and it's driving a lot of good people out of the business. And Chris is a really good guy. He's one of the real good guys out there. And he couldn't. It was enough for him. I know that. So
okay, that's where I was going, Jeff. I wanted to. My thought was here. Of course, he doesn't say it in his statement. He said, personal health and spend more time with my family, my wife, my kids. So I understand that. But I went right away to, hey, Klieman seems like a guy wants to build a program, wants to build a culture, doesn't want to be transactional. Do you think this environment drove him out? That was like key.
Oh, 100%. I mean, there's absolutely no question in my mind the environment of college football drove him out. And, again, I just, the settlement. I don't know if everybody's following the House, versus the NCAA settlement. It's the Wild West, as we know, and there's they got to figure it out and rein it in somehow. I mean, pro sports has figured it out on how you tamper with our guy, we'll fine you. Things like that. College football is such a runaway train on big business that you're going to see more guys like Chris Kleiman leave. There's no doubt in my mind. I think we've already seen it too. I just, the head coaches I know, it's a hard business.
Yeah. Chris Kleiman retiring today at K-State. Great coach at NDSU and had success there at Kansas State. Now this year, it wasn't great. It was kind of a grind. They were a top 25 preseason team, so people expected, hey, they're going to be good again, and they were kind of up and down. What do you think Kleiman's going to do? Is he out for good? Is that it?
No, that's good. Well, I know on Saturday he's coming on our pregame show. He's going to be in Fargo watching his kid coach. So I do know that's in his immediate future. So Inform.com, and it'll be the statewide network. He'll be on our pregame show. I guys just like that just don't go golfing. First of all, I think he sucks at golf, so I don't think that's going to be, something on his immediate future. He'll be involved somehow. I mean, Craig Bohl, when he retired from Wyoming, he's now the executive director of the American Football Coaches Association. Bob Nielsen, when he left South Dakota, now he's Craig's right-hand man with the AFCA. So I just don't think you can take the football out of these guys fully. I fully expect him to do something. I would hope, Nate, that he takes a year off and just just digresses a little bit and tries to enjoy life a little bit. I think he hinted at that at his press conference. He didn't take any questions. He just had a few comments and left. But I would hope he'd just take a year and just do nothing. If he can. I don't know if those guys can.
Yeah, Chris Kleiman, national championships at NDSU and went to K-State, was 54-34 in 7 seasons. Pretty solid on a Big 12 championship a few years ago. Jeff Kolpak covered it, NDSU football at Inforum.com. How big of an emergency is this coach thing? The big story is Lane Kiffin leaving when Ole Miss is in the playoff. This is crazy. This is like Rick Pitino leaving when St. John's is a 2 seed in March Madness. You wouldn't believe it, but that's what's going on. Is this a big emergency?
Yeah, well, it's the timeline of it all, and it's not really fair to the players, is it? And I don't know. I mean, it's the calendar is just all screwed up. You got all this happening between the first and second semester. You have signing day, which was today. So a player is worried about their recruiting classes. And I know, like, Brent Vigen interviewed at Oregon State, was it last week? And I think one of the problems was, like, Oregon State said, well, you got to go now. And Brent Vigen said, no, I want to coach my team through the playoffs. I'm pretty sure this is what happened, because I think that's what happened at Washington State. And he said, and Oregon State said, no, we need you now. LSU, I would imagine. I don't know what they were thinking as far as they need him now or not, but I think when you take a job, the days like when Chris took the K-State job, he coached his team through the FCS playoffs.
Yeah.
When Craig Bohl took the Wyoming job, he coached his team through the FCS playoffs. But because of the immediacy of everything, it's just way out of whack. I just don't see that happening anymore. I don't.
Yeah, it's wild to me. I think you got to have some rules, Jeff. I mean, you got to have some new rules. How important is it to get kids in and programs, do you think, in with this early signing period? All the work they do now is for now, and so they think, well, we got to get them in the earlier, and then they're enrolled in January, and then they're ready for spring ball. Is that something you can fix?
I would like to see an August signing date. I mean, everybody's already verbaled by the spring anyway now. I mean, most of North Dakota State's recruits verbaled in April or May, some in June. All right, make August 1 the signing day. Then I think that takes all this immediacy of trying to hire a coach before signing day, or that takes that out of the picture. And if you commit on August 1st and that head coach leaves, then you're free to go.
Sure.
I mean, that's to me that's a no-brainer. But make August 1st the signing day. Get that done with. Players aren't. I mean, again, they've all 90% in the Division I really big schools and good FCS schools have already decided anyway. So what's the point? and dragging that out. So at least take that out of the equation.
Jeff Kolpak joining us. Couple more. I'll let him run. He covers NDSU football, Inforum.com. We'll get to the Bison here, but what's going on with NDSU? Tim Polisic, Coach of the Year. He had some offers there, I think. Colorado State, maybe Oregon State. You know, he stays at NDSU. My prediction is this, and I'm maybe not the first guy. I said within the next 3 years, I think college football is going to have a transformation. The big dogs in their class, and then this group of 5/ good FCS programs in their class. That's what I think's happening. But do you think that's real? And is that why Tim Polisic said, I'm going to stick around here?
Well, I think a couple reasons. I think like Oregon State isn't the Oregon State we thought. They don't have the Pac-12 money anymore. It's not the Pac-12 Oregon State. They had big reductions in their budget. I mean, Brent Vegan flew commercial out to interview. That seemed a little strange to me. So I just don't know if that's the greatest job anymore. And so, yeah, NDSU, is it a really good job? They love it here. I think the boosters are. I know there's some boosters willing to help his that position in the salary. I'm not saying the NDSU job is getting paid $1 million. I don't know because the extension hasn't been released yet. But I would hope I would think everything about this program is FBS except the salary of the head coaching position. So I wrote a column saying, well, it's time to do that too. Make it $800,000-900,000 or approach $1 million. And so I've heard there's some boosters willing to get that to some level around that.
That's
I don't
interesting.
know. I think I think he's in hopes of this program going FBS in the next year or two.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I really am. Jeff Kolpak on tonight. How about NDSU? Can anybody touch them in the FCS playoffs? There's some interesting teams here. Montana State's good. Jacks are playing the Grizz. That's a really interesting matchup. NDSU's got Illinois State. They're familiar with them. Can anybody touch NDSU this year out of all the teams you've seen?
Well, if NDSU plays well, probably not. I think Montana State's built for a good playoff run like that. NDSU's got some dudes. They're pretty good. They're pretty healthy. But it's football. You throw 3 picks and things can change in a heartbeat. But I would say right now I've seen a lot of 10 title teams. This looks like another one of those. We'll see if it happens. But right now, what I see and the way they're built and the way they're coached and then the way they have playmakers and defense. I don't see why number 11 couldn't happen.
What do you think about UND Tarleton?
It's all about Kaminsky, the quarterback at UND. Is he going to be healthy to play? If he is, I think they got a pretty good chance of winning. And here it is. I mean, I talked to Brock Spack. He goes, here's the thing about Missouri Valley teams. When you get out in across the country, they just don't match the physical play of the teams around here. They don't hit like Valley teams. In football, it's still you want to hit the guy. And they don't. And UND, if they play a physical game, they have their quarterback. Yeah, they can beat Tarleton, absolutely.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Last one for Jeff Kolpak. South Dakota sports fans want to know if the Jacks are going to win at Montana.
Oh, I'd love to see that game. I wish I wasn't covering the game at the same time. Can they win? Yes, with Chase Mason back. Montana's got a couple playmakers, I think, more than the Jacks. Wortham, the running back, and Eli Gilman. I think they got a couple better playmakers. I also don't think Montana's defense is that great. So if Chase Mason has a good day, I think the Jacks move on.
All right, USD is at Mercer. That's my last one. Mercer, I can't tell if they're really good. You get some of these teams, like you said, they get on the national field, and then you're like, well, wait, these middle-of-the-road Missouri Valley teams are better than these teams. Is that USD?
Yeah, I expect USD to win, and here's why. I think obviously USD has a veteran quarterback. Aiden Bauman's been in, 9 years now? I can't remember. I've lost track. But Mercer's they got a freshman quarterback. Yeah, he's really good. He's a Jerry Rice Award winner, but he's a freshman. Yeah, things kind of change once the playoffs hit when you're a freshman.
Jeff Kolpak on tonight. Great work at Inforum.com. A good follow there. NDSU football getting set for Illinois State. A lot popping. Jeff, thanks for coming on. I appreciate the time.
Good talking to you, Nate. Have a good night.
Appreciate you. Jeff Kolpak, good insight and analysis and coverage from him at Inforum.com. Live from Fargo, Jeff Kolpak, North Dakota State football beat writer on the Nate Brown Show tonight. He takes USD over Mercer. He says UND a good shot to win if they have their quarterback against Tarleton State. NDSU, he thinks, is probably going to get title number 11. And the Jacks and the Grizz, I couldn't get a read on that. He said, the Jacks could win. Montana has a few better playmakers. That may be the game of the weekend. Jeff Kolpak on tonight. How about that? Chris Kleiman retiring. And that's the first thing I said today when I saw that come across. I said, this is about the culture and the environment of college football. I don't know Chris Kleiman at all. That's the one guy I haven't had on the show. I've had Craig Bowl. I've had a lot of these guys. But from the NDSU side, I haven't had Coach Kleiman on. So I don't know him, haven't talked to him, don't know the background. Well, I'm going to spend time with my family and all that stuff. Well, that's what people say. I mean, they're not going to say, well, this whole thing's a mess. That's the first thing I thought. Chris Kleiman, 58 years old. He's doing a pretty solid job. Yeah, kind of a middle-of-the-road year, a little down at K-State this year. First thing I thought was he's tired of it. He's just tired of it. And people say, well, that's just the way it is. If you don't want to play the game, then you're out. That seems like a great coach. Great coach. And people questioned K-State for hiring him. You remember that? You said North Dakota State. People questioned, what? You're going to go North Dakota State to K-State? How'd that work out? Pretty good. Pretty good. Big 12 title a few years ago, 54-34. That's K-State, man. That's not like, that's a solid program, but it's a tougher environment. How do the programs like K-State survive and flourish in this type of environment? I mean, the K-States of the world, it's tough. Iowa State, K-State, some of these programs, it's tough. Coming right back with Doug Ottawell live from Denver. People are hitting my Broncos. I was told they are just like the Vikings from last year, going to win a bunch of games and then get bounced in the playoffs early. Let's go there with Doug Ottawell, senior writer. He's covered the Broncos a long time for Mile High Sports coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
All kinds of vehicles, all kinds of loans, all as low as 4.99% APR. At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we're here to help all kinds of people, just like you. Get moving. From truck drivers to van warriors, we got the right loan to fit your style with rates as low as 4.99% APR. Wherever the road takes you, start with BHFCU. Apply today at bhfcu.com or text or call 605-718-1818.
Offer subject to credit approval. BHFCU is member owned and insured by NCUA.
Stay safe this holiday season with Kidde Fire Extinguishers now at Menards. Kidde home safety products keep your family protected in case of emergencies. Ensure that you have the proper equipment for all areas of your home, like smoke and carbon monoxide alarms and fire safety equipment. Pick up a Kidde Fire Extinguisher for just $19.99 through December 7th. And don't forget to check out our flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Season's greetings to you all from Menards.
Mr. Liquor off Catron next to Walmart is celebrating their first anniversary. They're giving away incredible prize packages every day through December 12th. Each package includes a $100 Mr. Liquor gift card, plus other fantastic prizes like grills, camping chairs, complete auto detailing certificates, golf passes, along with gift certificates to great restaurants and more. No purchase necessary, need not be present to win. Keep listening for details on free holiday samplings and in-store specials, and help them celebrate the first anniversary of Mr. Liquor off Catron next to Walmart in Rapid City.
Over $73,000 in cash and prizes are up for grabs this November and December during the Cash Climb at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort. Be here every Friday and Saturday starting at 8 p.m. for your chance to win prize packages from $300 all the way up to $1,000 at midnight. If a winner isn't present, the prize rolls over, making the next drawing even bigger. It all leads up to the grand prize drawings on December 27th. Only at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort in Deadwood. How will your night play out?
Since 1928, Connect Home Center has been proud to serve Rapid City and Spearfish with quality products and customer service that you can trust. In 2000, Connect joined the Mead Lumber family, and now they're taking the next step into their journey. Connect Home Center is becoming Mead Lumber. Same people, same service, just a new name from design to finish. Mead Lumber is here for you, as they've always been. MeadLumber.com.
Being in business has its rewards as well as its challenges. It means being the first one in the door in the morning and turning off the lights when you leave at night. Your business is unique, and you need a bank that understands your needs. You deserve the best. You need a financial partner that is invested in your success. You need Pioneer Bank and Trust. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
Welcome in South Dakota Sports Talk Show live on Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota, KWSN, Sioux Falls. Our affiliate there, also Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome in. Brian Knows on tonight from Las Vegas, national host on Fox Sports Radio. Every week he hosts Countdown to Kickoff, the best tailgate show in the country, getting you ready for the games, all the betting lines, all the good stuff. And Brian Knows pops on the Nate Brown Show every week talking ball. Brian Knows coming up. We got drama in Pittsburgh. How about that? Drama in Pittsburgh. That and more coming up. Doug Ottewell is in from Denver. We got to talk Broncos, Mile High Sports. He's on X at D Ottewell, and he's here on the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. Doug, how are you?
I am great, Nate. How's it going, man?
I'm doing good. Broncos are 10-2. We got to be feeling this. What excitement level do you have? What's the scene in Denver? Broncos 10-2 right now.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think, I've been alive every time the Broncos have been 10-2, and if I'm reading all the reports right, every time that's happened, they've gone to the Super Bowl. But in a weird kind of way, and I think people are very excited. I think they see that stat and they think, hey, Super Bowl is a possibility. But I also think that there's a very much of a tread lightly kind of sentiment here that's different than any of the other 10-2 teams that have ever been in Denver. I think just the way the Broncos have won, I think that's. I guess I would call it like a reserved excitement. And I think that's probably the best way you could put it. Everybody's excited. Don't get me wrong. There's no better place to be than 10-2. But to kind of watch the games and then look at that record, there's a little bit of a disconnect there.
Okay, it's a measured excitement. I was thinking that. I was wondering that. And I'm kind of there, too. I'm a lifelong Broncos fan. You are as well. You've been in Denver your whole life there, and you've been covering the team throughout the years on the whole thing. So I get it because I'm watching that Washington game Sunday. And Broncos offense looked pretty good at times, but then only scored a touchdown the entire second half, like scored it right away, and then that was it. And they couldn't move the ball, and then the defense was getting carved up by Marcus Mariota. I mean, they were getting carved up, and I'm going, wait, is this the Broncos team that won the Super Bowl with Peyton Manning, an elite defense? And I think it's an elite defense, but then they get carved up like that. So I think that's why people are like, they're winning all these close games, but is it real?
Well, I think people also remember last year because that defense looked very elite up until, maybe end of the season they showed some, cracks, and And then against Buffalo, they were exploited. Obviously they couldn't stop the run last year. I think this defense is better. I think they did address those things as long as Dre Greenlaw can stay healthy, and Hufanga is an incredible addition. So I think they're shored up. I think the defense is the real deal. But, yeah, it's just that, they can't quite seem to put good offense and good defense together, whether it's the same game or the same half or whatever. It's a weird thing because I think football fans in Denver, Colorado are pretty educated. I mean, they've seen it. They know what a Super Bowl team looks like, and I don't quite think we're ready to say, yeah, this is a Super Bowl team. Okay. And a lot of that's based on the offense.
Yeah, that's right. If the Broncos can win some tiebreakers, let's say they beat the Raiders here this week and they win some of these games, they beat the Chiefs, let's say that. I mean, so they're in good shape because the Patriots' schedule's easy. And so the Broncos may have to keep winning here and maybe win a tiebreaker where they might have the edge. How important is that number one bye home all the way in Denver?
I think it's really important. I mean, I don't think you want to risk anything. I mean, I think the one thing, and this was I heard someone talk about this today about that 2015 team. That offense wasn't that good either, but the defense was elite. And the one thing that they did, and the one advantage that they had, is that they played that home field schedule. So when they played Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game, it's the weather, it's the crowd, it's the pass rush. And, if you're saying, hey, Drake May's a guy that's, an MVP candidate and he might be that guy that beats you, especially if you got to go to his place, I think the blueprint's there. You want to do exactly what you did to Tom Brady in 2015 because that's what you do is you make the star of your team the star of your team, and it's the defense and the pass rush specifically. So I think that home field advantage is really critical. I mean, the other part of it's funny. I mean, Kansas City is not necessarily a good football team this year, but I don't think there's a person in Denver that wants the scenario where the Broncos either, have any chance of playing the Chiefs,
right,
and that's kind of one of those strange, why not? You should be, in theory, a lot better than them. It just kind of shows you that there's some little pockets of doubt in there.
Doug Ottewell on tonight talking Broncos. He's at Mile High Sports live from Denver here on the Nate Brown Show. Broncos 10-2. I was told they're like the Minnesota Vikings of last year. Won all these games, they're going to go 14-3, and then they're going to get bounced early. So this is going to be bounced early or Super Bowl. What better chance? Which one?
I would say, Super Bowl better than bounced early because I do think that defense really, really, it works in the postseason. I mean, if you don't have a good defense, you're not going anywhere. And I think they have a better defense than they did last year. I think the one thing too, and I would say this as much as I, kind of complained, I guess, about the offense or doubted the offense. Bo Nix has something that you can't teach. I don't care what your stats are. I don't care what, quarters 1 through 3.5 look like. Bo Nix has the clutch gene. And I think that's one thing in Denver that we also very much identify with. And because we saw it for years with John Elway. I mean, we don't leave the couch. When the game's seemingly out of hand or when there's a chance to do the impossible, everybody's glued to the couch because Bo Nix has that. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you Bo Nix has been great this year. He hasn't at all. But when we had to be great, he was.
Yeah.
And I think that's the other thing that I like about this team. Defense in the playoffs is always gives you a shot. But if defense keeps the game close, I think everyone here sort of has a confidence in Bo Nix to finish, cross the finish line. I mean, he's done it like 8 times this year.
Yeah, it's interesting with Bo. You know what I like about Bo? I mean, I haven't been like, oh, Bo's going to be the savior. I haven't been that guy. I admit that. The thing I like about Bo, you just watch every game. He's not looking here, looking down, doing facial expressions. I mean, he could be bad, and he's never different. He just keeps coming at you. I think that's bigger than people think. He is just solid, head-wise, confidence-wise. I think that's why it's like he could be bad the whole game, and he might go on a game-winning drive. He's done that a lot. I think that's a mentality. I undervalued that. He seems like a guy that's just solid always.
Yeah, he really is. And, I mean, I think his team responds to him. I also think that, and this is where maybe I would say there's a little bit of a disconnect between he and Peyton. I think Sean Payton is a surgeon as far as his playbook and his play calling, and he has a certain thing that he wants to have happen in a certain way he wants to do it. And generally speaking, that's going to be mapped out for most of the game up until the point where you have to throw the plan out the window. And then you go, you know what, Bo? We got to go win the game. We got to do what you want to do it the way you want to do, because we have no other choice now. And I think you see that a little bit too. And and maybe it's not so much play calls as much as Bo's loose. He has, there isn't a well, I've got to do it this way or go through my progressions. It's I just got to make a play. And I think you're right. He has that mentality, and he's shown that toughness all year.
I like his confidence. I like his mindset. He's just solid, really solid. Seems cerebral, doesn't ever get too high, too low. I mean, he's just he's solid. I'll take those guys all day. Doug Ottewell on tonight, Mile High Sports, talking Broncos. One quick one. The CU Buffs, bad year. Deion Sanders, he's losing coaches. Maybe he's okay with that. I just saw a report out that CU's going to be in deficit because of NIL and some of this stuff. What's the CU football program like in 2026?
I think it's a make or break year, and it's kind of an interesting scenario because, Deion hasn't necessarily endeared himself to what I would call the CU football family. He's made it extremely exciting. He's brought in an entire different brand of football, different brand of, following. But I don't know that he has a whole lot of friends on the inside of the program. Alumni, the landscape of college football doesn't allow for kids to be loyal, even they're on your team. So, you see current players right now, liking tweets and things that are critical of Deion. But I think the other part of that is that he made this mess, and he's the only one that could clean it up. I don't think you can go out and hire, an up-and-coming offensive coordinator and expect that to work. I don't think you could, even bring in a bigger name coach and kind of dig out of the hole. I think it's got to be him, and I think part of what he's going to have to do to get out of that hole is eat a little humble pie. He needs to bring in some guys that aren't just celebrities. You got to be real good X's and O's guys.
Yeah.
You start with Pat Shurmur. I mean, that offense is terrible. Find somebody who knows how to run a college offense, especially with the talent that he has. And he's always talking about, I believe in building the team from the outside in. You know what? You might have to build a team from the inside out, just like every other good college football program or every football program in general.
Well, it's going to be that's an interesting story, man. I've been following it. I think Deion's been massive for CU, and you know that. I mean, you said that. I mean,
absolutely.
He's been massive. And then this year, it wasn't just average. It fell off the rails. And now 2026, what's it going to look like? CU football, can they get back in the mix? Doug Ottewell on tonight, talking Broncos and more. Broncos 10-2 at the Raiders coming up. Mile High Sports for the coverage. Doug, always appreciate you, man. Thanks.
Thanks, Nate. I'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate it. Doug Ottewell on tonight, live from Denver, talking Broncos, a little CU mixed in. Yeah, CU not in great shape. I'm still believing Deion has done huge things for that. I mean, that program was really bad. People think, it's down now. No, it was non-existent. Can they get back competitive in the Big 12? Doug Ottewell, Mile High Sports tonight. Coming right back. Let's come back to South Dakota. And, I've got a deal here. I was told yesterday that for example, Rapid City Stevens, they haven't won a football game in the last 2 years, right? I was told yesterday, even if you used a new classification system, like from Montana, their system, well, it wouldn't allow Stevens to move down anyway. Hang on a second.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Does your home have a crawl space? When cold weather arrives, that can mean cold floors, frozen pipes, and higher energy bills. Protect your family and keep the cold air out this winter with Expert Crawl Space Sealing by Blackburn Basement Systems. Sealing keeps your crawl space clean, protects pipes, and insulates your home so floors are warmer and energy bills are lower. A sealed crawl space means a nicer home. Don't wait. Call Blackburn Basement Systems today.
As the official mascot of Country Hearth Breads and literally made of dough, Lofi would like to put a little more jingle in your holiday this season by giving you a chance to win some dough yourself. Visit countryhearthbreads.com/sweeps and enter today for your chance to win $500 or $1,000. Winners will each receive a check that can be used for travel, gifts, or even Lofi's personal choice, lots and lots of bread and buns for all your holiday celebrations. So get your buns over to countryhearthbreads.com/sweeps and enter today. Good luck.
Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet buys cars. You heard that right. We don't just sell cars, we buy them too. We make cash offers to purchase local cars, trucks, and SUVs every day. Tired of listing online? Tired of messages? Or just tired of making payments? Whatever the reason, make an appointment at rapidchevrolet.com for a no-obligation appraisal. It's fast and free. When you're ready to sell, we're ready to buy. At Danny Menholt Rapid Chevrolet, Rapid City.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows level off around 13 tonight under mainly clear skies, southerly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Tomorrow, slight chance for snow. Daytime highs approaching 43. Slight chance for snow. Tomorrow night, lows level off around 26. Mainly cloudy skies expected. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 16 degrees.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
Life changes fast. Starting a business, getting married, buying a house, growing your family. Have you taken steps to protect your family's financial future? Don't let life insurance be the thing that slides. It can help your family during difficult times. Lee Cruz with New York Life Insurance Company can help you get started. He's local and will help you find the right policy to fit your needs and budget. You can Google Lee Cruz New York Life or call 605-360-8804. That's Lee Cruz New York Life. Protect your family.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
South Dakota Sports Talk Show live tonight on Fox Sports Radio. You found us on KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls, and here on Fox Sports Rapid City. The Nate Brown Show, powered by Black Hills Federal Credit Union. We appreciate them, and I really do. It's my family's banking partner. I want you to know, being a member, it's been the right choice, no doubt. From great rates on vehicle loans, for example, mobile banking right here on my phone, saved me a ton of time. The best in technology and convenience, Black Hills Federal Credit Union. I'm glad I switched. Easy to do. Become a member. Start at bhfcu.com. Real easy. Take advantage of all they offer. bhfcu.com. 18 locations from the Black Hills to Sioux Falls. Become a member. Get started at bhfcu.com. We'll save you money. Let's see here. I've got an interesting topic that I want to throw around a little bit. I've thrown this around before, if you've listened to the program. So you've heard me say we got to try and find an answer with South Dakota high school football classifications. And there's been this Montana success factor model that I've liked, because the Montana High School Association does a success factor, which takes into account wins and losses for a program over the last 4 years. So if you've lost a ton of games, there's a percentage of that. It uses roster sizes. How healthy is your program? Do you have enough kids out? It uses enrollment, so you still have that for the school side. And then the free and reduced lunch rate. Okay, so it looks at the socioeconomic side. I think that's a good model because it has data and it says, here's who's really struggling in football. Maybe we should let them move down. So I'm throwing around, hey, I looked at a couple of teams that have really struggled. Douglas in 11AA. And, for example, the last couple of years, Stevens, they haven't won a game in AAA. Last couple of years. Central, not much better. Last couple of years. They're trying to get out of it, but they've really struggled too. I mean, Central, they've been a playoff team. They haven't had a playoff win for forever. So how could these teams move down potentially? You put them into a model like this, well, they would have to move down, right? 0 wins in the last 2-3 years for some of these teams. Well, I was told yesterday that if South Dakota implemented the Montana model, it wouldn't move down Stevens. They wouldn't qualify due to their big enrollment and due to their roster size. It wouldn't move down Douglas. I was told that yesterday by Dan Swartos here on the show. He said, we've looked at it, and it may not work the way you think. Douglas wouldn't move down either. I say, hold it a second. Let's just think this through. If Douglas, who hasn't won a game in 3 years, if they can't move down a class, what's wrong with that formula? They haven't won a game in 3 years. It's like there's no success there. If we can't let Douglas move down a class, what is wrong with the formula? And I found it. They're looking at roster sizes, and they're saying, well, your varsity football team is, we're going to just count everybody. I know we only look at the record for the success factor for varsity, but we're going to count everybody that comes out for football. Well, that doesn't work. Why would I count the record in my success factor for the varsity and then worry about freshmen that are on the freshman/JV teams? That doesn't make sense. The success factor of wins and losses is varsity, not 115 players that came out for football at Stevens. I mean, there's 40 of those kids are freshmen. Half. It's almost half. And guess what? A lot of those freshmen don't end up sticking with it even by the next year. There's a lot of kids that say, I tried it out. I was pretty good in youth football in middle school, and it just didn't work out. I was at a varsity game. Sioux Falls Jefferson played Stevens. There was over 30 players at Stevens. There was a little over 30 players. So why are we wondering, well, but we had 40 on the freshman JV team. That doesn't matter. So we gotta make sure we're accurate in saying, hey, roster sizes, shouldn't that include sophomore to seniors? Those are really, for the most part of the big schools, those are the kids that are going to be varsity contributors if you have any program at all. I'm not talking about a couple of star freshmen. I understand. I'm talking you can't count freshmen and say they're varsity count. So he said, well, you look at the roster size. Stevens had 115 players. Douglas had 60 players. Well, half of them are freshman JV. So that's what's wrong with the formula, and you just have to kind of stop and say, wait, if Stevens said, hey, could we move down a class? You have to just look realistically and say 115 players is not accurate for a varsity success. You look at the wins and loss of the varsity team. We're not counting the wins and the loss of the JV team. That's easy, right? So that's how I want to make sure people understand here is you should count sophomore to seniors if you're looking at a success factor. You shouldn't count freshman football players. So what do you think on that? By the way, I'll throw that out to you guys. When looking at South Dakota football roster numbers, if you're going to use roster numbers for a success factor model, I believe you should only use sophomore to seniors. Sophomore to seniors gives you the varsity look for the most part. Not a bunch of freshmen that decide from middle school, hey, we're going to play. How can Stevens have a roster that's 115 players at the start of the year, and then look out at the varsity at the end, and it's about 36 players left? Because they're counting too many freshmen in the varsity model. You just can't do it. So I count sophomore to seniors, then you would be talking. Douglas, not a huge number. Stevens, not a huge number. That would allow them to move down. 55% of you say you should count only sophomore seniors for varsity football rosters. 46% of you say, or I should say 45% of you say, put the freshmen in there as well. So more people are with me on this. When looking at South Dakota football roster numbers for the health of the program, should freshmen count toward the total number? I say no. What do you say? 55% of you say no, go sophomore to seniors. 45% of you say yes, put freshmen in there. Let's see. Listener text, the Douglas freshman team isn't much better. Oh, yeah, I mean, that could be the case, but I was looking at the numbers. Douglas, they said, has 60 players. Well, it's like 30 of them play freshman JV, whatever you want to call it. They go double, and it's like, you really want freshmen that are out there to be counted as like real varsity players? That shouldn't be the case. Let's see. Listener text, if that's how they're going to do it, I wouldn't dress any sophomores or freshmen for my varsity team then. Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. I looked at Sioux Falls Jefferson. They had a huge number of players. A huge number. Stevens had 36, I think, literally, getting ready in a AAA football game. That's wild. So just got to be careful of how they have huge rosters and enrollment, so we couldn't move them down. Well, we got to have some realistic looks at who is where and how the programs are doing. How did Watertown and Aberdeen Central get to move down? Interesting. Coming right back into this next hour, I had a Vikings fan stop me today. Yes, he did. He stopped me today in my tracks, and he said, I have an opinion that I think most people are going to agree with about the Vikings and their lack of a Super Bowl in the history of their organization. He said, I don't need a Super Bowl. I'm just happy with this. We'll discuss next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Mom, can we please go to Watiki Indoor Water Park Resort?
Watiki? What's so special about it?
Are you kidding? It's got slides, fountains, a lazy river, everything. And it's just a short drive to Rapid City. If we stay at one of the hotels, we get water park passes for free.
Wow, you really did your homework. Okay, what do you say we pack our swimsuits and hit Watiki this weekend?
Yes, best mom ever.
Unlock your adventure at WatikiWaterpark.com.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
Out here, we have a deeper connection to the land, a stronger connection to our neighbors, standing on our own 2 feet while also working together. The power to do more connects us all. At member-owned West River Electric Association, it's all of us working together to make today and tomorrow better. This is Co-op Country.
Hi, this is Dr. Dan Jensen at Physio. We want to be your trusted partner for physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab. As the official strength and conditioning partners for Stevens, Central, Douglas, and the Rapid City Rush, our team at Physio is building the best athletes in the Black Hills. If you have an athlete in the family, we offer long-term athlete development at affordable prices for middle and high school students. We also have the only board-certified sports PT in Rapid City. At our brand new facility, Physio is ready to help you perform at your best. One-on-one physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab, all at one place. Get started at bhphysio.com.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
Kickoff just got bigger. Murphy's Pub and Grill is back with NFL Sunday Ticket. That means every game, every team, every Sunday. Right here at your favorite bar. Cheer loud, eat big, and score with Murphy's game day specials on food and drinks. The atmosphere, electric. The staff, legendary. The screens, everywhere. This season, don't just watch football. Experience it. NFL Sunday Ticket is back, baby. Murphy's Pub and Grill, your new football headquarters. Visit murphyspubandgrill.com.
Hanging with Brian from Anytime Auto Sales. I see new models of stand-up and teardrop campers on your lot.
Yes, you do. We're proud to feature the new SGC Armor line of campers from Bontrager Outdoors. Bang for the buck, there's just nothing out there like these new super cool Armor campers and Bontrager teardrops.
And the suspension these campers have? Wow, so impressive.
All our campers come standard with the off-road package. Bontrager and Armor just ramped boondocking up another notch. And right now, you'll get the best price all year on these 2026 ultra-light, ultra-beefy, option-loaded campers and teardrops.
You gotta check out these new look campers, people. The new designs are fantastic, and so many options for their size.
And so many options for towing. No need for a diesel or a big truck. These only weigh around 1,500 to 2,000 pounds, so they can be towed by almost any rig.
Check out these new 2026 Bontrager and SGC Armor campers, everyone. See AnytimeAnytime.com, and as always, at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales. One more time.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome back in. Let's get going tonight. The Nate Brown Show live. We're in the second hour on your drive home. Thanks for making us part of your day and making this show possible. We appreciate you. We really do. Our business partners and our listeners. South Dakota Sports Talk Show on Fox Sports Radio. A lot of ways you can catch the show. If you're listening live on the radio, that's great. Our affiliates across the state from Rapid City to Sioux Falls. Also, we're on Twitter right there on your phone. Bring us up at Nate Brown Show right now. It's called X, Twitter, right? You can bring us up at Nate Brown Show. We're live. Welcome in studio. We got the Christmas tree set up. Matt Kearney's got festive. I mean, he just has it covered. Our Christmas tree is what? It's all the bowl games. It's the bowl game. He put all the bowl games in the ornaments. And I don't know if he has to, how many times do you have to change that every year? I mean, we got the Nate Brown Bowl, we got the Matt Kearney Bowl, we got the whatever bowls, but he's got it. Nice festive setup. Catch us on YouTube, The Nate Brown Show. Find us and watch us live. Subscribe there. Search The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. Coming up, Brian Noe, one of your favorites. I know that. He's one of mine. Brian Noe is in from Fox Sports Radio, national host from Las Vegas. He hosts Countdown to Kickoff every weekend. We're talking ball with Brian Noe. What's the real story in Pittsburgh and more? What's the story in Minnesota? Now, I got to have fun with this. I know I have Vikings fans that listen to the program. I love you guys. I really do. How do you feel right now? You're 4-8. 1-4 at home. I mean, it's a mess. It's a mess. High expectations. I was with you. I was there. 14-3 last year. What a magical run. And then we had this little Sam Darnold issue. And then we went all the way in on J.J. McCarthy. We're hurt again. We're bad. Now we're hurt again. Now we're back. So I had a Vikings fan sit down with me today. This guy's a lifelong Vikings fan from North South Dakota, and he said, I don't know, this is a bad year. He said, this is a bad year. It makes me feel bad. He said this is one of his worst years. He's really struggling. He doesn't have any hope. He says he does not have any hope this year. It's like, it's the Christmas season. He said 4-8, we're struggling. And he said this. I would rather go 10-7. It's like 10-7 every year, make the playoffs and get bounced in the first or second round. He said, I'd rather do that for 10 years straight. And he goes, we haven't won a Super Bowl. He goes, I even if we don't win a Super Bowl ever, I would rather go just like 10-7, win the Super Bowl, or I should say, just say, get into the playoffs and get bounced. Because it's positive. I have hope. I'm engaged. I'm watching the Vikings every Sunday. Hey, we're going to make the playoffs. We might have a shot. And he said, I would rather do that than this scenario. Somehow we go 7-10, losing seasons. We're just struggling, like this year. Let's say they go 6-11, something like that. He said, I could not deal with that every year, like the Cleveland Browns. Even if there was one magical year where the Vikings break through and they win the first ever Super Bowl title in organization history, he would trade all of that. He would trade a Super Bowl to not have to endure the bad years. It was such a psychological meeting that it gave me a glimpse of the Vikings fans' pain. And then he said, I'd like you to ask your audience this. I'd like you to ask your audience, the Vikings fans, what would you rather do? 10-7, we're pretty good. Let's get a shot in the playoffs. I know we're going to get beat because we're not great. Instead of, you can find one magical year, you break through, everything goes right, and you win the Super Bowl. But man, it took all of these years of losing 6-11, 7-10, 7-10 the next year, 8-9 the next year. He said he couldn't deal with that. He would trade that for just good. Just stay good. Give us some hope. We maybe can get there. Probably not, but maybe. And he would trade a Super Bowl. He could not endure the losing like is happening this year. Where do you stand as a Vikings fan? This is very interesting to me. And here it is. Here it is. So I'm a Broncos guy. The last 10 years have been miserable. I mean, I'm looking at it going, the last 10 years have been miserable. And so I'm feeling his pain going, hang on a second. These last 10 years as a Broncos fan, we're out of it. We're just out of it, not even in the running, right? And then last year, we got a little bit of glimpse of some hope. A little bit of hope. Bo Nix, he was putting it all together there. And the Broncos made the playoffs. Did I expect them to beat the Bills? I did not. And so then I've got this pull and tug. Was last year okay? Or would I deal with all these 10 years of no hope, and then the Broncos break through and win a Super Bowl? So I'm going to flip this guy on his ear, and I'm going to say, why would you just want to be good when you could win a Super Bowl? The Super Bowl. You know how hard that is to win a Super Bowl? Yes, you Vikings fans do. I understand. So, of course, you would take a Super Bowl over, hey, we had another pretty good season, went 11-6. It was pretty good, pretty good. And then you got beat by the Rams again. Yeah, I know, but it's pretty good. Feeling good. You would, of course, take the Super Bowl over good seasons, right? A run of 10 good seasons, no Super Bowl in your history's organization, in your history. No Super Bowl ever. Just good. Or would you take bad and the Super Bowl? You would take the Super Bowl, right? Vikings fans, how desperate are you for a Super Bowl? Listener text coming in. Typical Minnesota fan, they're just happy the Vikings the Vikings exist. Well, I could tell you, he wasn't too happy today. He was not too happy today. But it's interesting. He just wants to be good. He doesn't have to win a Super Bowl if they can just be okay. I'm the other way. I would not trade the Broncos Super Bowls for just the Broncos being good. We were just waiting for John Elway to break through because the Broncos were always good. I mean, they were good with Elway. We were always waiting for him to break through. And they have, and that's why you take the 10 years of misery for a one Super Bowl year run. Not him. He just wants the Vikings to win a few more games. Brian Noah's in next, talking ball, Fox Sports Radio national host. He's our next guest live from Vegas.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Keep your cash and spend ours. Our Black Friday sale is back. Get 20% off our clean replacement windows and ensemble entry doors with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 18 months. You pay nothing until 2027. Plus, enjoy a Visa gift card for up to $2,000 as our gift to you. Hurry, this Black Friday event is only here till December 13th. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps 1 minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Have you thought about buying a home or real estate in the Black Hills? Maybe you want to upgrade to your forever home? I have been helping people in the Black Hills find the right home for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. Let me do the work, and you can open the door to your new home. Say hello to a good buy with me, David Brenneman. To get started, just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show, The Nate.
Hey, thanks for being here. The Nate Brown Show live tonight, Fox Sports Radio. It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show. We're built by Blackburn Foundation Repair. It's getting cold in South Dakota. We know that. Make sure your crawl space is taken care of, okay? Make sure your house stays warm. Also, stronger structures from Blackburn Foundation Repair. You can have cracks in your walls, cracks in your basement foundation. They reinforce it all, supporting beams, keep floors level, prevent sagging. It's a good defense for your home. I'm telling you, Blackburn Foundation Repair, they cover it all, including radon testing. That's important, especially in South Dakota. There's a lot of homes that have had levels of radon, so get it all taken care of with Blackburn Foundation Repair. Local experts in South Dakota since 1992. When you need help when it comes to your home, protecting homes, protect your family, start at blackburnrepair.com. Remember, blackburnrepair.com. Brian Noe is on tonight. Fox Sports Radio national host of Countdown to Kickoff. Every weekend getting you ready for the big games. Brian, how are you?
I'm good, Nate. Always good to be on with you, man. You know, with you delivering that information right there, I stumbled onto a thought. I'm curious if you agree with this or not. Sagging, never a good thing. Think about it. Your home, your body, your jeans. Like, when is sagging ever good? When?
Tell me.
I would say never.
Tell me. I could see Brian Noe when he was 17 sagging his shorts. I could see that.
No, not me. I mean, nothing crazy, you know, like nothing too crazy. I mean, maybe like a tiny bit, but no, it's. I don't think it's ever a good thing.
All right,
it's always a bad thing, Nate.
You take me for a sagger in late high school, but all right, nonetheless, you got me corrected. I got to ask you something right here. This is a Vikings fan I sat down with today. This is a lifelong Vikings fan. He's depressed. 4-8. He said J.J. McCarthy is bad. I mean, he said we're in trouble. He said, I want to trade Justin Jefferson. We got to get him out of here. We got to get some value. We got to get this thing going. So he's depressed. And then he did this scenario. They haven't won a Super Bowl in the history of the organization. And he said, that's fine as long as we could be good every year. He would take 10-7, get in the playoffs every year instead of bad like now and endure 5-8 years of bad for a magical Super Bowl 1 year. He said, I want to be good. I can't deal with bad, even if we got a Super Bowl 6 years from now. What do you think of that mentality?
It's one of the dumbest comments I've ever heard. That's what I think. Like, here's the thing, Nate. Listen, this is the way it works with sports fans, okay? The more they get, the more they want. So while 10-7 sounds great right now, as soon as they're 10-7 every year, guess what? You're the Steelers. And you're like, this kind of sucks. We should get rid of Mike Tomlin.
Oh.
That's the way it works, man. So the more you want, the more you get, the more that you want. It would be like, let's put it in terms of like everyday life. Okay, you want to date someone. You're dating someone who's not great. Okay, like she's really difficult to get along with. You know, it gives you a hard time, and you're like, man, if I could just find someone who doesn't give me a hard time, I don't even care if she has teeth. You know, and okay, you find a girl, she doesn't give you a hard time, but man, this is something about not having teeth is sort of an issue also. You understand what I'm saying? Like, as soon as the Vikings are 10-7, this person you sat down with, who is at his wit's end right now, and I get it. It's been a disastrous season, huge expectations, no results whatsoever. As soon as they're 10-7 on the yearly, this guy would be out of his mind then too.
Oh.
So no, I don't buy that for a second. I think that's, you know, it looks like utopia right now. As soon as you get to 10-7 yearlyville, you're like, get me out of this town. This town sucks too. You want to be great. You want to win championships. You want rings. It's not about being better than average yearly. You want to be special. You want to win it all.
All right, I did say that. I said I have to get a Super Bowl win because my Broncos were good years ago. Like with John Elway, we were always good. We couldn't break through. And we just waited for that time. This one's for John. And we finally broke through. And that's what Broncos fans, that was always the highlight of my Broncos fandom, is that first Super Bowl title. Okay, let me get to the Vikings realistically now. Where do you go next year if J.J. McCarthy comes back last 4 games here, which looks like he is, and he continues to really struggle? Let's say a couple of people get fired in the front office for the Vikings. I had a Vikings writer say that could lead to J.J. McCarthy not being the guy. If some front office stuff changes, he says Kevin O'Connell's safe. He says he's safe, But if things change in the front office and JJ's down the last 4 games, Vikings may not have JJ next year. Where do you go?
Yeah, I mean that's the question right there is who do you go with? And the options are not the best out there. I mean, it's one of these where do you kick the tires on Rodgers again? You're looking at either old guys or mediocre guys. That's pretty much it.
How about Kyler Murray? Kyler Murray.
Yeah. No, not interested.
Huh?
You're looking at Rodgers or Flacco or Kyler Murray or like Mac Jones, Davis Mills, Anthony Richardson. No, thank you. I just don't see how that puts you in a great spot. I mean, it might be much better than J.J. McCarthy. But, I mean, a warm body is pretty much better than J.J. McCarthy right now. The deal with Kyler Murray is he's just far too inconsistent, man. And I know it's sort of like, hey, with Kevin O'Connell, like maybe could he be revived? I mean, he's got some ability. There's no doubt about that. But he like when you have to have a clause in the contract of like, dude, can you put down the sticks and stop playing Xbox all day? Like that's not going to take you anywhere of note, even matched up with a KOC who knows what's going on.
I would take Kyler
that
tomorrow.
Does wonders for you.
I would take Kyler Murray tomorrow. I would.
What, over JJ or just in general?
Yeah, no, like right now over JJ. If I'm the Vikings, I am trying to get Kyler Murray next year.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. You have to look at what the price tag is and all that type of stuff. I just don't think that Kyler Murray is a difference maker at all. And it's the, compared to J.J. McCarthy, he looks like, a hybrid of like Joe Montana and Randall Cunningham or so, you know what I mean? Like, but he's not that guy. He's just not a difference maker. And I think even in that offense, even with great weapons around him, he still would be limited. But to your point, probably a way better option than J.J. McCarthy right now.
Brian Noe on tonight, Fox Sports Radio, host of Countdown to Kickoff, the best pregame show in the country. So this Pittsburgh Steelers thing's getting interesting. Big Ben's throwing around maybe a clean house. I mean, he's got former players saying, it might be time to call it good. Is that it? Mike Tomlin, Steelers, you think it's time to call it good?
I mean, they might. I just think that run down the list of quarterbacks that they've had, and to win consistently, to never have a losing record with some of the quarterbacks that they've had since Big Ben. I mean, I think the better take from Big Ben is like, find another me. You know what I mean? Like find your new aged Big Ben. Find a good quarterback, not stylistically the same as Big Ben, not the easiest to find, but just someone who's competent, someone who's a decent, good to a little bit better than good. Some of those years from Big Ben were really, really good. You don't think Mike Tomlin could win games with a really good quarterback? That's their problem, man. They've just had Band-Aid after Band-Aid after Band-Aid after Band-Aid. And you look year by year, and some of this stuff is a horror show with what they've had at QB. And think of that conference, too, Nate. Think about what you're dealing with and what you're up against with Mahomes. Let's start with that. You got Josh Allen. You got all these guys, Herbert, Lamar, Burrow. And you've got what, like old Rodgers and Mason Rudolph? Like, come on, it's not going to cut it. So he'd find a job immediately, and I get why people are eager to move on from him. But the truth is he's won a lot of games with no quarterback play of great note. That means something.
But you just said the Steelers have just been good. I mean, they've just been good, and he hasn't won a ton of playoff games lately. So that's just like, what do you do? Isn't he partly responsible to not get a good QB over the last 10 years?
I mean, yeah. But I look at that more of as a GM thing than a head coach thing. So, it's one of those deals where who do you blame more? I would blame the general manager more than the head coach there. It's not Mike Tomlin's job to find the quarterback of the future. It's the GM's job to do that. So yeah. I still think he's a very good head coach. But I can understand the other argument where it's like, bro, we've been 10-7, like to your Vikings fan, like his standpoint, right? if we could just be 10-7, it's like, yeah, you'd be the Steelers, and you'd be looking to move on from your head coach who's never had a losing season. That's where you would be.
But at least you wouldn't be dating somebody with no teeth. I mean, that's one thing I got from you. I got that. Okay, are you ready yet to say my Broncos are in the mix? They're 10-2. The Patriots are 11-2. You keep saying the Broncos are fake. Are you there yet?
Oh, man, they're so fake. I mean, I have a friend I work with at Fox. You would know him, Justin Cooper. He was the little kid in the movie Liar, Liar.
Oh.
Right? He's a diehard Broncos fan. He's a producer at Fox Sports Radio. But I text him almost after every game, and I'm just like, wow, I take it all back. I believe in the Broncos after they beat a 3-9 Commanders team with Mariota, behind center right there. I take it all back. You guys are clearly title bound, and he says all sorts of unchristian things to me. And, it's our relationship right there, Nate.
All right.
But no, I'm not buying in. I stick to what I've thought the whole time. I think they're a team that has a very high floor and a low ceiling. The bright side is high floor is, what's their formula? Their formula is great defense, aside from Mariota carving them up. It's typically great defense. It's a great offensive line, and then they sack the other team's quarterback, and they don't give up many sacks.
Yeah.
So with that formula, you're going to win a lot of games. You're going to be in the mix a lot of times. But that's okay against the Jets and the Raiders and teams like that in the regular season. Not good enough for teams in the playoffs. You got to score points. Like, I think I looked it up where Hobo Nix, I call him next, I think he plays like a bum. I think he's got the same exact passer rating as Carson Wentz. I have to verify that real quick, but you're going nowhere come playoff time. I don't care how good your defense is. You got to be able to score points, and they're not going to be able to. So I fade them all day. I hope they end up with the 1 seed. I can't wait to fade the Broncos come playoff time.
My goodness. One thing you forgot to mention, that the offense in Bo Nix, somewhat clutch. They have some game-winning drives. You forgot to mention that. The clutch gene. Bo has it. And the Broncos are 10-2. He makes plays when we have to have plays. By the way, I'm going to keep inviting you back.
I just want to say real fast, you're right. I like how he found Bobby Wagner wide open, across the middle. That was a clutch throw to Bobby Wagner. Problem is he plays for the other team, so that's one thing.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm going to keep inviting you back because this Broncos segment is going to be good. It's going to get better and better with Brian Noe. Listen to him on Fox Sports Radio. Great host of Countdown to Kickoff. Brian, I always appreciate it, man. We'll do it again. Thanks.
Always great hanging with you, Nate. Maybe you entitle it, "What do you have to say now, Brian?" Right, like that. After a lot of Broncos wins, that would be pleasing to you. So I don't know, working title, but always good hanging with you, man. I appreciate you having me on. Always great talking ball with you.
I love that. I'm going to think of a segment. I'm going to think of a Broncos special with Brian Noe, the Broncos hater of South Dakota. Good stuff, Brian Noe, Fox Sports Radio, Countdown to Kickoff. I did not know Brian was going to turn into the biggest Broncos hater you've ever seen. Well, good luck. We'll keep talking. Coming right back, let's make some picks. BetMGM Sportsbook, Tin Lizzy, our headquarters on Fox Sports Radio. The director of the Sportsbook, Colt Martin's going to make his NFL picks for the weekend coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Keep your cash and spend ours. Our Black Friday sale is back. Get 20% off our clean replacement windows and ensemble entry doors with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 18 months. You pay nothing until 2027. Plus, enjoy a Visa gift card for up to $2,000 as our gift to you. Hurry! This Black Friday event is only here till December 13th. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
What? No, I didn't get that personal. My agent just helped me create an affordable price just for me. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on. Hey, Buster!
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
All right, a good night on the program. Thanks for making us part of your day. Wednesday edition of the Nate Brown Show. It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show live on Fox Sports Radio across the state. Packed lineup tonight. Jeff Kolpak joined us. Good stuff from him. He's with Inforum.com out of Fargo, North Dakota. Covers NDSU. Jeff Kolpak in tonight. We talked Broncos with Doug Ottawa live from Denver, Mile High Sports. Brian Noe, the biggest Broncos hater in the country. Moments ago, Fox Sports Radio's Brian Noe from Las Vegas, national host of Countdown to Kickoff. If you missed parts of the show, go to the Nate Brown Show podcast, search The Nate Brown Show, wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, Apple. We're there. You don't have to miss a guest or a segment. Search The Nate Brown Show, and you've got the podcast. All right, let's get some picks. He's the director of the sportsbook, Tin Lizzy, BetMGM, Main Street, Deadwood, Colt Martin. Let's go NFL. Colt, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful, Nate. Thank you.
I appreciate it, man. Let's get going. So, first game on the docket. Tin Lizzy, BetMGM Sportsbook. Vikings fans are struggling. They're 4-8. They're 1-4 at home. That's rare. Now they've got the Commanders. The Vikings have J.J. McCarthy back. He struggled. Vikings are favored by 2. How do you see it?
I like the Commanders in this one. +2. Big question mark at quarterback in Minnesota. Things seem to kind of be falling apart with, issues with Justin Jefferson and stuff. There's just too much dysfunction for me for winning football.
Okay, so you're going to go against the Vikings. You're going to take the +2. Did you think the Commanders looked good Sunday night? They almost beat my Broncos.
They did. They kept that very close, and, Mariota's looking like a better option than what Minnesota's got going on. So I'll roll with Washington on this one.
All right, Commanders +2. Colt Martin in tonight, director of the BetMGM Sportsbook at Tin Lizzy, Deadwood. So let's go to my Broncos. They're 10-2, but they just barely get by teams. They're favored by 7.5 at Las Vegas.
That's a tricky one. I'm gonna go with the Raiders plus 7.5 here. I believe the Broncos win, but within the interdivision game, I think they keep it close. Bo Nix is only 50 yards behind Harvey for the team lead in rushing, so I think they're going to have to get that figured out for playoff football. You've got to be able to control the clock and rush the ball. So.
Okay, so you expect the Broncos to win, but you think it's too much, too many points.
Agreed.
All right, Raiders plus 7.5. Colt, you're getting risky taking the Raiders, but you got 7.5. So good luck. How about this one? NFC North, Bears at Packers. Bears, nobody's believing in them still. Colt, they are 6.5 point underdogs. So where are you going to go? Packers minus 6.5.
Yeah, that line really surprised me. I'm going to take the Packers on this one. Chicago looks really good, but they're near the bottom of the league in every defensive category besides third down percentage, where they're 7th. Green Bay, however, is 1st in converting third down, so I believe that'll probably be the story of this game, is kind of what happens on third down.
You're going Packers minus 6.5. That's some points. It's at Green Bay. Bears are the number 1 seed right now in the NFC. Colt Martin, NFL Picks, brought to you by Tin Lizzy, BetMGM Sportsbook, downtown, Main Street, Deadwood. The Sunday night game is the Chiefs and Texans, Colt. Somebody's got to win this to stay alive, I think, for the playoffs. The Chiefs at home, favored by 3.5. What do you say?
I'm going to go with the Chiefs here, minus 3.5. Kansas City's only home loss this year was to the Eagles in Week 2. The Texans have a great defense, but Kansas City's a much more well-rounded team.
All right. Chiefs minus 3.5. The NFL picks are in for the week. We're going to get this going. We're going to put it on X as well, see if we can get a challenge going. Colt Martin live from Tin Lizzy, BetMGM Sportsbook, our Fox Sports Radio headquarters for NFL football. Some great games coming up this weekend. Colt, good luck. I appreciate you, man. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Nate. Take care.
Colt Martin on tonight. Tin Lizzy, BetMGM Sportsbook. Our number 1 place for sports and the NFL when it comes to watching the big games that they are on. Best place to watch, man. I go there a lot. It is a great place to watch the big games. And you got college football conference championship weekend as well. NFL picks in the book from Colt Martin. And we go who's hot and who's not. Hey, you're not going to believe this. Signing day today, right? Signing day. Which big program is behind, they're ranked behind South Dakota State today? That's coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
Inheritance, romance, and investment scams continue to plague South Dakotans with high dollar amount losses. They prey on vulnerable adults and swindle consumers out of their funds. Scammers befriend the victim, making it difficult for them to see the reality of what's happening. If you have a loved one susceptible to this type of scam, sit down and talk with them about these issues before it happens to them. If you or a loved one have been scammed in this manner, please reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
At Connect Home Center, they've been a part of the Mead Lumber family since 2000. Now, they're bringing everything together under one trusted name, Mead Lumber. Don't worry, your favorite team, great service, and high-quality products aren't going anywhere. Connect Home Center is becoming Mead Lumber. Same people, same service, just a new name. From design to finish, here for you every step of the way. Check them out at meadlumber.com.
In the studio today, I have Weston and Denise Chapman, owners of Black Hills Tire. What kind of diesel services does Black Hills Tire specialize in?
Black Hills Tire is really going to focus on a lot of new diesel services. We're doing factory maintenance and service. We're doing fuel system diagnostics and repair. We're going to do engine repair, even all the way into engine overhauls and engine removals and installation, whether it's driveline components and repair, transmission service, transmission and clutch replacements, brakes. We're doing everything. Check us out at blackhillstire.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast.
lows level off around 13. Tonight, under mainly clear skies, southerly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Tomorrow, slight chance for snow. Daytime highs approaching 43. Slight chance for snow. Tomorrow night, lows level off around 26. Mainly cloudy skies expected. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 16 degrees.
If you want the peace of mind that your next pre-owned vehicle is the best it can be, you want Honda True. And you only find it at Danny Manholt Rushmore Honda. Our Honda certified pre-owned vehicles are thoroughly inspected and backed by 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage, up to 2 complimentary oil changes, 24/7 roadside assistance, inspection report, and 3-day exchange. You simply can't buy the wrong vehicle. Search our inventory at honda-true.com or see us at Denny Manholt Rushmore Honda.
It's football season, and the best place to watch all your favorite games is the BetMGM Sportsbook at Tin Lizzie Gaming Resort. Wall-to-wall television arrays give you the best seats in the house and let you watch multiple games at once. Relax in comfortable seating while you grab a delicious bite or brew with a game day menu full of fan favorites. Take advantage of some of the best promotions in Deadwood when you make your wagers with your Clubhouse card. You won't miss a second of the action when you make the BetMGM Sportsbook at Tin Lizzie your headquarters this football season.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown Show. Glad to have you tonight. South Dakota Sports Talk Show. We are live. We're back tomorrow with another happy hour. Whoa, what do you mean? Rob Kegron's coming in tomorrow? National radio host Rob Kegron's coming in on double dip Thursday, happy hour tomorrow, and a lot more. Getting set for the weekend. Let's do this. Who's hot and who's not? Brought to you by the Pizza Ranch, East 10th Street, Sioux Falls. Location in Brandon. Stop by tonight, this week. Home of everyone's favorite buffet, 2 locations in Rapid City. It's the Pizza Ranch, locally owned and operated. Great supporters of South Dakota sports and our local communities. In my Who's Hot category, I thought this was possible, and the Chiefs-Cowboys set a record for most viewers ever in history for a regular season game. CBS earns most watched regular season game in history. 57.2 million tuned in on Thanksgiving for the Chiefs and Cowboys. Biggest regular season number ever. I thought that was a possibility, and it sets a record. In our Pizza Ranch, who's not tonight? Okay, so it's signing day today, and you got teams bringing in high school guys, and so it's early signing period today. I was looking at the rankings, and I saw people putting this out there. South Dakota State, they're getting set for the Grizz, and they're in the playoffs here, but you got to sign some guys. South Dakota State in the whole nation, this is FCS and FBS. This is the whole nation. South Dakota State ranks their recruiting class today 149th. So you're like, well, it's okay. 25 commits listed there. You know who's 150th tonight? Who comes in at 150th in the country? Behind the great Jackrabbits, the Penn State Nittany Lions. So it's Penn State doesn't have a coach. That might be part of the problem. I think they were going to hire all these coaches. Matt Rule, no, stays at Nebraska. Kurt Cignetti stays at Indiana. Clark Lee stays at Vanderbilt. Kalani Sitake stays at BYU. Now they're sitting here going, we're going to get a coach? So Penn State, honestly, this was just put out. They rank them. ESPN ranks them. Here's who the class is. Here's how it looks. South Dakota State coming in 149th in the country tonight. Penn State is 150. That is quite something. Pack show tonight. Jeff Kolpak talking FCS and NDSU, and Chris Kleiman retires at K-State. That was good stuff. Doug Ottewell from Denver talking Broncos. Brian Noe, we hit a lot in the NFL. And our picks of the week with Colt Martin. Hit the Nate Brown Show podcast. Every show, search the Nate Brown Show, and you'll find it on your favorite podcast platform. Thanks for listening to the Nate Brown Show. We're back tomorrow with a great one. See ya.
Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no